Peace everybody, welcome to Ross Recording Studios. Today we're going to be doing a little bit different stuff here, playing around with the Bias Amp 2 video software, right? Cut. Take two. I swear to God, I need one of those clipboards. Take two. Everybody, peace, welcome to Ross Recording Studios. Very excited today. I'm Chuck, and we are going to be playing with Positive Grid's Bias Amp. And it's very cool software. We'll see if we can get a little bit of volume out of that thing, but the backstory to it is I've been out of the game for a little while and saw this new amp, Positive Grid Spark 40, and bought it. It seemed like, you know, compared to some of the other little tiny amps on the market, you know, I've used them all, you know, the Fender Champs, and they're good teeny tiny little amps, but you know, you got to keep up with the times. Holy moly, this little Positive Grid Spark 40 who kept up with the times was like, wow. All the things I was complaining about with like the Fender Champs, where, you know, they have these cheap volume knobs still. I mean, I'm talking El Cheapo stuff. There's no reason for it. You get the Positive Grid, the first thing I looked at were the knobs, and they were glide smooth, perfectly smooth, more than enough power for the amp. I always thought that some of these Fenders were quite underpowered. I had a Fender Princeton. I traded that in because I'm playing with the band for two forks cabinets with a head on top. So, you know, total of 8 12-inch speakers, so I could, you know, rock and roll and not, you know, fart around with this little Princeton. Well, holy shit. The price of these little Fender Princetons are like, you know, $2,000, $3,000. So it's like, oh my God, yeah. There ain't 20 watts on the thing, which that's total. So slice that in half. For RMS, we're talking 10 watts on a puny speaker. $2,000-$3,000. Oh my God, I just can't wrap my head around it. You know, I paid $100 for mine, I'm sure. I wish I kept it because I'd sell it for, you know, a couple thousand easily. So I was super excited about the Positive Grid when I got it. It's got this app on there about the tablet, you know, you can different distortion pedals, modulation pedals, choruses, reverbs. It's like just so great. And besides being able to play music to it with you know, all the other features, it's just, oh my God, phenomenal, right? So start recording with it, and somebody's like, hey dude, why aren't you using, you know, the Bias FX professional grade software? It's like, well, number one, I was just getting back into the game. Number two, I didn't really know what it was. Number three, I kind of saw it and was a little intimidated by it. Bias, whoa, Bias, Positive Grid Bias FX, whoa, what? Stop right there. I'm confused already. I'll take a look at it. So, you know, intimidation, being out of the game, you know, professional grade, okay, I got it. You know, I'm trying to be professional, make a great studio. If it's better, let me look at it. So, took the dive, went from the shallow end, and I got to say that would be going into the deep end, because I'm so glad that people comment and, you know, like I like to share what I learned with other people, and that's what they do with me. Hey, why ain't you using the Bias FX? Well, because I was intimidated and didn't know what it was, and when I looked at it, it's like, wow, it's the same thing as the Positive Grid Spark 40, but so much more. Wow. And I'm talking about so much more. You know, instead of 10 distortion pedals, there's 40. So, you know, instead of a total of 40 or 50 total effects, there's, you know, 500 to 1,000. I can't count them all. I thought about counting them all. So, and the quality is better. If you look on my channel, I'll try to put a tag up there. I'll forget if I point. Maybe I'll see it when I look back. my landlord had the Ibanez Tube Screamer, and they have it on there, which I didn't realize they weren't used. They can't use real names, so they use the colors and to make the knobs and stuff on there close. So I was like, okay, this must be the same one. It is, and I gotta say, on the Spark 40, it's pretty close to the real deal. A little tweaking, excuse me, a little tweaking. You can get it to sound really close. If you put it into like an Ableton Music software program and start adding your compressors, equalizations, and things, you can get it to sound as good or better than the real one. With the bias effects, it's really, really close. I mean, I can't really tell the difference myself. And somebody says, you know, you got to have the real thing. That's what it's all about. Let me say this about the real things. The real things are designed from computers, okay? That little Ibanez Tube Screamer you pay 80, 90, 100 bucks for, that's designed from a computer and put into that little box. Then they design another one, the yellow one. Then they design the orange one. Everything that you buy for $100 is designed from the computer. So you can't tell me that the computer can't make a circuitry board by a computer as good as the real thing we're stepping on the floor. Except for the convenience of being able to bring that little box to the concert hall where you're playing and step on it, and that's what they're for. So I'm not ever going to say that, you know, oh yeah, they're better than sound-wise, because that's not true. It's your imagination if you think that. Like I said, they're designed from a computer. The computer's got a lot more power than that little box. That little box you step on for $80, that little green Ibanez Tube Screamer, that's all it can do is tube scream. It can't do mathematics. It can't surf the internet. It can't design itself either. And I can't even get into how much more power a computer has than that little box. I mean, that little box would be 1, and the computer would be 10,000 for power. It can do everything that little box can do and so much more. So that's that. Now, as far as an amplifier with real tubes in a room, computer's not going to do that. It can simulate it all day long, and they can have all their simulations, yes. And we have that on what I have, the bias amp. We've got all the tubes you can change. It's awesome. It's great. But it's probably not going to sound as good as the real one in the room with real tubes. That's just physics. You know, I mean, I'm not a scientist. I'm not a mathematician. I'm not a, you know, brainiac. But as far as physics go, I got to imagine the real deal is going to sound better than a computer. So what we have here is the bias amp. And when I saw that versus the bias FX, we could talk more about that later. But this I want to talk about the amp. That's what this video is. The backstory was the bias FX versus the positive grand. I got to keep expanding, keep checking things out. Got to keep rubbing my eyes, get them straight because they're a little tired. Woohoo! Where is the lens? Lens is over here. Yeah, you look over here. So we have the bias amp too. And when I saw that, it's like, oh, now you can go inside the amp and you can change your tubes, you can change your transformers, you can change your resistors. It's like, you know, I used to have that when I was a kid, the Radio Shack, 20-in-1. Grandpa got me the 101 for Christmas. Wow, 100 and things. You've been doing this. We're talking the 60s, right? The 70s, you know. That was awesome, you know. All them things you could do with it. So I'm still excited to this day as I was when I was 10 years old with Radio Shack's 101, where now I can actually take stuff I use that's fun with amplifiers and I can go in and change tubes and all that. It's just great. So the idea is you can create that sound and bring it into bias FX software on the Ableton, and now you can then you can add all your effects that you would normally add onto your amps. It's like overload. It's like too much. It really is, but you could truly make a sound that nobody else could mimic until you put it on the cloud. And I have put stuff on the cloud, but it's it's not like I could put my name up there and you can go, oh, Ross Recording Studios. There, I don't know how how I would name an original sound if I put it up there. It's not going to be Eddie Van Halen. It's not going to be Alex Lifeson, Steve Howe, Jimmy Page. It would be Chuck Ross. And who would ever look for Chuck Ross? Nobody. If you could, I'm not done with the cloud yet. Like I said, somebody, oh, you put the stuff up, you should put the sound up there so you can share it. You're right, yes, if you like it. Absolutely. That's what it's about. First, I never thought I'd make a tone that would be really cool enough that other people would want to use. But that's kind of putting myself down a little bit. I think I make some good sounds. Why wouldn't somebody want to maybe mimic it? I don't know. So I was kind of rude, and I'm not putting it up there. So, yes, I should put it up there and share it. God, I'm fucking blabbing today. I knew I could blab if you got me going. That's not even talking about back in the day when there were other substances that, you know, cocaine, that you do a couple snorts of that, and one friend of mine is like, hey, give me a couple bumps there. He goes, no way, you won't shut up the rest of the night. I promise I won't talk. He says, yeah. Well, it was kind of good for other people because I do all the talking. I'd ask a question, and they wouldn't even have to answer. I'm going to answer it for you. Exactly what you would say, too. That's how good I know my breath. So, yeah, blabbing on and on. Let's get going with grab my IYB ILS 300 modified with Seymour Duncan's Cluson pickups, or Cluson tuning keys on it, and all the knob switches, everything have been changed out on this particular model. I've also got my green pick to go with it. You gotta go green, you gotta go green. Here's green strap too. So it's actually working on Alex Lifeson, Red Barchetta. And Red Barchetta is definitely not this type of sound. You see, get the guitar in the picture a little bit. So that's an American bass. Here, got bass sound for the blues. That's a good one. So basically, I would say he's in the. I mean, they got some really crazy sounds here. And like I said, you can go into your power amp. Change your tubes. See, I don't like any of those. That's metal. Let's get to where we're kind of, I want to be, would be sort of like a, well, let's forget all this entirely. The reason I want to show you this portion is they use fake names like the Lux Verb, and it took me, you know, a couple seconds to catch that, you know. And I wish I had Fender, you know, Fender reverb on there, Fender Twin. He goes, they do, it's right there, the Lux reverb. It's called the Lux Verb. Oh, okay, so he changed the names on it. But here they must have paid royalties, because now you can get the true amplifier. So if I wanted to say get a Dumbbell Lamp, I've never even heard of that. Sounds like something out of Harry Potter, the Dumbledore. I always use the Fender Twin, Fender Super Reverb, Mesa Boogie. Mesa Boogies are really good amps and they're really expensive, so how about we try that? And basically you download it, put it where you want it to be so you can find it, and that for me is always custom. It's downloaded into the custom, and I'll go back up here. And I believe I go back, and I go back, custom, and now that amp is going to be in custom. That would be the last one I put in there. Or the first one, is I do this all the time. Okay. Now what can we do to make the sound unique, better? Is that one way you can describe it? I would say start with a transformer, and they have different styles right off the bat you can look at. You have your American, British, fat, and pure. And you can also change on this one the tube. Two different style of tubes in the transformer section. A power amp section has another selection of tubes. So, tube. So basically what I do for Red Bartender, and listen to this sound, I would say that it's not going to be using the treble pickup. I almost like the neck position for the beginning of it. Really getting a little bit too bright in the back, which I guess I could turn it down the volume and try that. Yeah, no, I like it better turned down, so we'll do that. Let's try a different transformer. Now it went flatter. I don't think I've ever used the fourth one, pure style. And what about a different tube? What does that do? Okay. Power amp. All these things in here, I don't know anything really. So I'm not really going to mess with any of that. But we will change some tubes out. Doing anything. What the hell? This drives me nuts. You know? I don't know. This thing should be fucking blasting fucking bloody murder right now. And nothing. Great video, right? Learn how to use the shit before. So, well, that was a lot of fun. Very disappointing. That works and the other one doesn't, I don't know. Video fail. Kind of part of it worked, but not what I want. It's disappointment of playing some of this stuff. Good night.